So all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kwadash. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone, where I have learned this truth and where I am still learning this truth. And also shalom to the other sincere followers of this truth. All right. So this is gonna be um the 12th video in the series. Teach exactly what you were taught, with the topic being why were we made vanity to, or why were we made subject to vanity and sin. Okay. And if you've been listening to this series so far, you know that the big picture is, if you are of the remnant, all right, you will see that the big picture is that ultimately we were made subject to vanity and sin to be made subject to hope and faith. All right. Okay. So that is the big picture of it. All right. So we have patience through we have patience in being in these chains of darkness, which is the flesh. All right. And suffering through vanity and sin, being patient, right? Waiting on the Lord to come and redeem us out of this, make us perfect. Okay. Which that is the hope and faith, all right, that we have as the remnant. Lord willing, I'm of that number. Okay. But like I said, this is the 12th video, which is in Roman numerals. It is XII. All right. Uh, if you get the 1611, the reason why I keep mentioning the Roman numerals is if you get that 1611 um, King James version, chapters aren't numbered by regular 1, 2, 3. Okay, they are in Roman numerals. Okay, so that's why I keep doing that. It may be very basic to some, it may not be to others. So just to get used to knowing what they are, I will try and keep it in mind to call it out. All right. Um, that'll build me up in knowing instantly myself. Okay. So these videos are lessons uh, that I've heard and took notes on and are studying. Even in the midst of doing these videos, I'm still learning. All right. Getting these lessons in my head. All right. So they will stay. Okay. Uh, outside of the Lord, all right, these people here can take any material thing away from you that they want. All right, they can make up laws to come and take your house, your cars, all your property. Okay, your your material things. All right, the one thing they will not be able to take away is the knowledge that is in these scriptures that are given to you. Lord willing, that He gives them to you, and the understanding. All right, so that is important in going over these lessons over and over again. Okay, not only to teach them, but to make sure they learn or they make sure that you learn them and that they stick with you. All right, repetition in these scriptures is key. Okay, so today we're going to start out in Romans, the 8th chapter. Okay, um, as you've probably already noticed, this series, all right, which I wouldn't mind all these series being this way. There's a lot of reading. All right, so this is not for entertainment, as even my elders say all the time. This is not for entertainment. So all of this reading acts as a filtering process also. If you don't like a lot of information, if you don't like a lot of reading, if you don't have patience, all right, if you're not into studying, listening, all right, you're going to turn these things off, which acts as a filtering process. The Lord is tough, man. The Lord is super tough. All right. So uh, I may make multiple videos, like I mentioned yesterday, just to put them in smaller increments, so you ain't got to uh, uh, take up a big block of your time when listening to one video. All right. But if the Spirit has my teachers go on, they go on with their lessons for as long as the Spirit allows them, or as long as the Spirit wants them to. All right, it's going to be the same here, but just know that I do have it in mind. All right, and Lord willing, I can maybe give these things to put these things across in smaller increments, just multiple times a day. All right, uh, whenever I can, Lord willing. All right, but we're going to start in Romans 8 and chapter 20, verse 20. Okay, Romans 8 and 20 in the King James, and it reads, "For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who hath subjected the same in hope." All right, so we don't want to be subject to vanity, uh, especially knowing this truth. All right, we despise the condition that we're in, but we understand why we are here. All right, and who put us here, and we actually thank him for this path. All right, we don't understand his ways totally. We know that his ways are above us, are above our ways. But the thing is, we have trust in him. We have hope in him. All right. We have faith in the Lord. All right. So that word hope in Romans 8 and 20. As a matter of fact, hold on. Let me read NLT. Romans 8, verse 20. In the NLT, it says, "Against its will, all creation was subjected to God's curse, but with eager hope." All right. Again, that word hope shows up in there. So let's go to the good news. Romans 8. Oops. Went too far. Hold on. Romans 8 and 20. All right. Romans chapter 8, verse 20 in the good news. The heading above verse 18 in the good news reads, "The future glory." All right. But verse 20 in the good news, it says, "For creation was condemned to lose its purpose, not of its own will, but because God willed it to be so. Yet there was hope." Okay. So that word hope, all right, if you go into the definitions of hope in the biblical usage, it says expectation of evil or fear, right? Fear, right? Explanation two is the expectation of good or hope, and that's what we have. When people hear these scriptures, the laws, commandments, all of it, and they hear the prophecies, right? If they are outside of this truth, which most people are, all right, or if they have no understanding, all right, which most people don't, they will have fear, okay, fear of what the men of this world will do, all right, but we have an expectation of good. We look at the bigger picture. We look at what the Lord promised us, all right, or has promised us, okay, and that in turn is the hope, okay. So in the definition, it also says in the Christian sense, which Christians were, the word Christian was, we were called Christians, right? First back in Antioch, all right? It was meant as a derogatory term. What that word really means, though, is Hamashiachium. So the Messiah, the followers of the Messiah, okay? Hamashiachium, all right? So in the Hamashiachium sense, that word hope is joyful and confident expectation of eternal salvation. That's what we have as the remnant, which is who this message is for. It's not for the entire world. It's not even for all Israelites. It's for 1/3 of Israelites in America and some that are scattered, all right? But the remnant as a whole, that's who this message is for. Okay? The gospel, the good news, the things that we hope on, all right? And the things that we have faith will happen because we trust in the Lord, okay? So this is what we've been made subject to, hope and faith. All right, let's go to Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4. Hold on. Here we go. I'm probably already there, but I'll be there in a second. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4 in the King James. All right, it reads, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith." Okay, let me read that again in the NLT. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4. It says, "Look at the proud. They trust in themselves, and their lives are crooked. But the righteous will live by their faithfulness to God." All right, that's how we live. This is how the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, all right, his name is Yahweh. That is whom the world ignorantly calls God. All right, his son, the only begotten, the Messiah, his name is Yahweh Shai. That is whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus, among with these other false names. All right. All right. So this is how the Heavenly Father Yahweh, all right, wanted to justify his chosen seed to rule forever, to fall, and to go through chastening as his children, as we do on this earth. We chasten our children because we love them. All right. We don't chasten them to kill them. They may think they're dying at the time, all right, because their feelings hurt, or we might, spank their butt a little bit to teach them, all right, or we might even just yell at them. It's chastening, all right, because we love them, okay, not to kill them, but to make them listen and to know that this is the way to go, not the other way, all right. So the end is already written, and nothing can change it, all right. So all things are subject to the scripture, for one, the scriptures, all right. All things are leading to exactly what the Lord said would happen, because he is faithful and true. Okay. Two things he can't do is what? Lie and fail. Two things that he won't do. Okay. So let's read that Habakkuk 2 and 4. I just want to see what it says in the Good News translation really quick. Give me a quick second. A quick minute. All right, Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4 in the Good News. Where's it at? It reads, "And this is the message. Those who are evil will not survive, but those who are righteous will live because they are faithful to Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh Shai," all right? So that translation is in fact holding up. But let me go check something else really quick, all right? Let's go to the 1611. All right, this is Habakkuk, second chapter, which is I, of course, all right? In verse 4, it says, "Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith." All right, let's go to John 3 and verse 36. John 3 and 36. It says, or it reads, He that believeth on the Son have everlasting life, and he that believeth not the Son shall not see life, but wrath of God abideth on him. So if you want to skip a step, if you want to skip your Yahushai, your end is going to be just like the end of the rest of these nations. All right. So you better get it right. Let everything be done decently and in order. All right. Now let's go to 1 John 5 and 10. Let's see what that says. First John chapter 5, which is the, all right, and 10, verse 10 reads, He that believeth on the Son of Yahweh, all right, hath the witness in himself. He that believeth not Yahweh hath made him a liar. I never thought about it like that. You don't believe him, you call him a liar. I mean, that's a simple thought, but just to read them words is wild. Because he believeth not the record that God gave of his Son. Okay, and what's the record that the Lord gave of his Son? These scriptures. The entire scriptures, all right? Okay, let me read verse 11 too. And this is the record that God hath given to us eternal life, and this life is in his Son. All right, again, pointing to Yahweh Shai. For all of you who don't want to get in line, you just want to talk directly to Yahweh, you have to go through his Son. All right. I'm gonna read 12 too. He that hath the Son hath life, and he that hath not the Son hath not life. All right, man. I could go on reading that chapter. I just don't want to get too far off of the point of the lesson. All right. So again, back in Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4. All right. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. All right. And Lord willing, I am of that number. All right. And if you are watching this, you should pray that, Lord willing, that you are of that number. All right. Don't stop praying. Never cease to pray. Okay. And you have to examine yourself. Filter yourself through these scriptures. All right. Let's go to Romans chapter 1 and verse 7. Okay. All right. This is Romans chapter 1. As soon as I can turn this page. All right. Romans 1 and verse 7. All right. It reads, To all that be in Rome, beloved of God, called to be saints, grace to you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Yahushua Hamashiach. All right, now who are the saints? All right, that's a key word in there. All right, go look at who are the saints. I think we even touched on that. Pretty sure we touched on that. All right, before. So before I get too far gone, all right. Again, the end is already written, and nothing can change what's coming. All right, because the Lord has already spoke these things into existence. We are just living these scriptures out. All right, now let's read Romans chapter 8 and verse 21. All right, Romans 8 and 21 in the Good News Translation, or in the King James Version, it reads, because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of God. We're gonna get back to our first estate, being known as the sons of Yahweh. All right, we had to fall and become what we are now. All right, but now we are coming back into knowing who we are, and then the Lord will be here in the future to actually make us perfect, and the world is going to know, all right, who we are. Okay, so let me read this again in the NLT. Romans 8 and 21. All right, Romans 8, verse 21 in the NLT, it says, the creation looks forward to the day when it will join God's children in glorious freedom from death and decay. So even the world is going to be put back right. All right, even the world. So this speaks of Israelites. All right, even once we get the new covenant, the heathen will still be subject to sin and going off, never having rulership again. This right now is probably the greatest time to be in rulership on this earth as the people that they are, as the heathen. All right, because when this thing falls, which it is in the process of falling, if you look around you, when this thing falls, it will never get back up again. All right, the Israelites have next rulership, and it's going to be one that is in power for eternity, all right, forever and ever. All right, these heathens are not going to get back in power again. All right, let's go now to Proverbs 29 and 2. And what would 29 be in Roman numerals? X, X, V, I. Or actually X, X, V, I, X. X, X, V, I, X. All right. Or X, X, I, X, excuse me. See, I'm learning too. Let me make sure that that's right. Proverbs 29 and 2. XXIV. Okay. All right. XXIV. Let me just be sure, man. Yep. Okay. XXIX. All right. Let's go. King James, Proverbs, XXIV, and verse 2. Proverbs 29 and 2. All right. And it reads, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. All right. So are people rejoicing now? For the most part, no, they are not. Everyone knows shit is fucked up down here, man. Okay? But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Are people mourning down here for the most part? Yes. So what does that mean? The wicked are in rulership right now. You have to be able to see that, man. You have to be able to see that. Unless the Lord has blotted your sight out, or unless you are one of those people in ruler. Actually, if you are one of those people in rulership, you know that you are wicked, man. You know that. Now, if you are somebody chasing after the path of these people, holding on to their pocket or holding on to their side, all right, you may not see that you're being wicked. You may just think that you're doing it to survive, but it's wickedness, man. You are coveting worldly shit. You're coveting a worldly position. Okay? You are spending more time chasing after these things of this earth than these things. The true riches, the cleanest water, health, life, forever. All right? You want to survive in this world. All right? So you are going to reach the same end that they are going to reach. Which brings me to a thought that I had before I cut the camera on. Is that no matter what, uh, just because I know how humans are, right? There's gonna be not even just one. There's gonna be millions of people at the end, and I'm just speaking to Israelites. There's gonna be millions of Israelites blaming the ones telling them the truth for not telling them the truth. Why didn't y'all tell us? Why didn't you tell us how serious this was? We didn't know. Y'all gonna even have the nerve to go tell the Lord, man. I didn't know. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You've heard it. The Lord said that this truth will go out into the whole world. He already knows that you fixing your lips to tell him a lie. All right. I can just see that happening, man. So anyway, when we get into power, yes, there will be enslavement. That is biblical. And even if it isn't, even okay, I'm not going to say even if it wasn't biblical. What I'm going to say is if you have a problem with that, all right, look at enslavement being in the world today. Like we know about the transatlantic, we know about the actual slavery that happened in the past, but it's happening today. Can you see it? Can you see it? Then they're about to put a strong hold on people, man. They fucking with the food, well, they fucking with the money, which is in turn gonna allow them to mess with the food. Just everything you covet in this world, they are going to look. You go to them for a roof over your head, clothing, transportation, all right, just basic things to live and basic things to when you pass away. They are taking you for everything, all right, which is enslavement. Okay, you can't do a thing without them getting more than half a piece for it. All right, and they're going to use those things that you covet against you in the future to do their bidding. All right, and a lot of people, almost 9 billion souls, are going to fall right in line with them. They're going to fall into that ditch, all right, known as the lake of fire. All right, and Lord willing, I'm not of that number. Lord willing, I'm of the remnant. Okay, but it's all up to the Lord. So again, when we get into power, yes, there will be enslavement and payback. But the overall goal is for the heathen to learn righteousness and that everything be in order the way Yahweh and Yahweh Shai created it to be. All right, this whole thing was created to be paradise. All right, everything is on the downslope because of these people in power. Everything. All right. So let me read Proverbs 29 and 2 in the NLT and in the Good News, and then I'm gonna check the King James 16:11, and then I'll cut this video. So Proverbs. Oh, and while I'm thinking about it, it's another beautiful day. It's another beautiful day, an opportunity to choose life. All right. Let me see. Or you can be like the rest of the world and think that it's a beautiful day to choose death. All right. All this beauty out here and these temperatures, all right, really got people outside of the truth. I mean, all right, you think everything is going well since the weather is out here, the sun's shining. You really ain't thinking about the Lord now. All right, you really not. Just like with health, when your health is good, nobody considers the Lord really, or most people. I say most people because the remnant do. All right, they were foretold to consider the Lord at all times. All right, when they come back into this truth, when they are awakened, we consider Him at all times. All right, Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2. All right, in the NLT. Almost messed up there. Let's go. All right, here we go. Proverbs 29 and 2 in the NLT. It says, when the godly are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked are in power, they groan. All right, and that's plainly what's happening. All right, that is plainly what is going on. For as long as I've been alive and even longer, all right, this place has been on a steady downfall. Just like Israelites, all right? This is the time where we're starting to stand back up on our feet, though. Proverbs 29 and verse 2 in the NLT. Or in the Good News Translation, excuse me. It says, show me a righteous ruler, and I will show you a happy people. Show me a wicked ruler, and I will show you a miserable people. All right? And I'm miserable down here, man. Yes, there are blessings everywhere. All right? I'm just saying outside of what the Lord is doing for us, all right? This place is miserable. It's a miserable place, man. Okay? Now, I'm not done yet. Let me go on this King James 16:11. Let's go to Proverbs 29 and 2. In the 16:11, let's get some other scriptures out of this, though. Proverbs 29 and 2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. So are you hearing this yet? We've read it in 3 different translations, which all agree, say it a different way. All right. These other translations did hold up to this verse. All right. Like I said, in some verses, these translations crumble. They can't even handle the truth. But in this particular verse, they're holding up. All right. Let's check Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 10. Let's see what this says. Proverbs 11, which is XI, and verse 10. All right, it reads, when it goeth well with the righteous, the city rejoiceth. Okay? Hold on now. And when the wicked perish, there is shouting. Let me read verse 11. By the blessing of the upright, the city is exalted, but it is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked. Okay? Again, pointing to what Proverbs 29 and 2, what that was expressing. All right, now let's go to chapter 28 of Proverbs and read verse 28. All right, it reads, when the wicked rise, men hide themselves, but when they perish, the righteous increase. And that's what's going to happen. We are going to take this wicked people, in this, by the power of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, all right? These wicked people are going to be gone, okay? And guess what's going to happen? Righteousness is going to increase on this planet Earth, okay? It is going to start growing into paradise again, all right? But guess what? Fire is a cleansing agent. There's going to be a lot of heat in this place when the Lord comes back, man. This is the lake of fire. Keep that in mind. This, in America, you are standing in the future site of the lake of fire. Okay? Now, let's go to, where we at? 29 and 2. Now, let's go to, let me see. Let's go to verse 12 and 28. Proverbs 28 and 12. When the righteous men do rejoice, there is a great glory. But when the wicked rise, a man is hidden. All right. So right now, just speaking to the remnant, we are, the world is, well, the world being so blind to who the Lord's children are. We are the real secret society, I guess. Even though we are out here in the open, all right, speaking these truths, but the secret societies of this world is hide. They hide, man, and they plan wickedly, and their plans go accordingly. Well, according even to Yahweh's will, all right. But they hide and do these things. Okay, the Lord hasn't hidden His people as far as speaking His truth. All right, the Lord's men publish it. All right, they make these things known. They bring truths to light. Even the secret societies of this world, the Lord has exposed them in their actions. They can't hide. No matter where they go, there they are. All right. They can't help but be themselves because that's who the Lord made them to be. Okay. And there's a lot of precepts in here. All right. I thought I was going to read them all, but let me see. Let's go back to 29. Let's go back to 29. Proverbs 29, verse 2. Let's get some more off of that. Okay. So now let's go to Ecclesiastes 10 and 5, it looks like. Let's go see. Damn flies, boy. Ecclesiastes 10, which is X, and verse 5. See what it says here. It says, there is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceedeth from the ruler. All right. These wicked people are forever putting out evil. They are evil. All right. Love you. All right. Excuse me. Salaki. So, now let's go to another one. Okay, yeah, that was it for that. All right, so I'm gonna cut this video here. I don't know, Lord willing, I'll come back as soon as He wills it. All right, and do another video. But we still, wow, we are about done. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, the next video there might be two smaller incremented videos coming next, but we are about done with this topic. Hopefully, you are following this and understanding. Hopefully, this is coming through as sincere, okay? And you are learning something from this, all right? Hopefully, it's edifying, okay? Because the way I heard this lesson, okay, and the notes I took on it, all right, I understood it. But you may have to hear it a different way for you to understand. But for the most part, hopefully, Lord willing, it is coming across as sincere, because it is sincere. These things are faithful and true. Okay. Um, but hopefully you are getting something out of it. I'm not really good at speech. Okay. So hopefully this is coming through um, clear and concise. All right. Straight to the point. All right. But anyway, with that, Lord willing, I'll be back with another video on this. At least it's going to be at least one more video on this topic. Why were we made subject to vanity and sin? Okay. So with that, I say all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kwadash. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone, where I have learned this truth and where I'm still learning this truth. And also, Shalom to the sincere followers of this truth. All right. And before I go again, please go to the community tab on this page. There are more teachings. Go scroll up and down that community tab and click on some of them videos with these teachers that have more experience than I do. All right. This channel is surface things. I'm new and I'm learning as you are as we go on this channel. All right. Not to say that I'm not believing in these things. I have faith and hope in these things. All right. There's nothing like this, and there will be nothing like this. All right. And that's also how the Lord meant it to be. Okay. But shalom to you other sincere followers. Lord willing, I'll see you next time. All right. Shalom.